Long ago, in the days of old, there lived a man named Adam and his wife Eve. They lived in a beautiful garden filled with all kinds of delicious fruits and vegetables. It was like paradise on earth, but they weren't alone in the garden. They had two sons, Cain and Abel. Now, Cain and Abel were very different from each other. Cain was a farmer. He spent his days planting crops and taking care of his fields, while Abel was a shepherd who looked after their family's flock of sheep and goats. Even though they were brothers, they had different interests and skills. One day, God spoke to both of them and told them it was time for them to bring him offerings or gifts. So both brothers went to work preparing their gifts for God. When it was ready, Cain brought some of the fruit he had grown to God. Abel, on the other hand, had a little different idea. He took some of the firstborn lambs from his flock and carefully selected the fattest and healthiest one to offer to God. He then gave this lamb to God as a gift. Now, both brothers thought that God would be pleased with their gifts, but they were wrong. God was happy with Abel's offering, but not with Cain's. And this made Cain very angry. He couldn't understand why God was happy with Abel's gift, but not his. So he went up to God and asked him why he was so angry. "You are not angry with me for giving you fruit from the ground, are you?" Cain asked God. "Well, actually, I am," replied God. "Why are you angry with me?" "Look," said God, "your brother Abel, he gave me a gift that pleased me. But what did you do? You just got lazy and gave me fruit from the ground." "Well," said Cain, "it wasn't my fault. It's just that I didn't know any better. I mean, I'm not good at this whole gift-giving thing." "Oh, come on, Cain," said God. "You don't have to be good at anything. All you have to do is try your best. And besides, you're not a helpless baby anymore. You're a grown man. So you must learn to take responsibility for your actions." Yeah, mumbled Cain, feeling embarrassed. "Whatever you say, God, I'll do better next time." At that, God turned away, leaving Cain to ponder his words. But as the days passed, Cain didn't really think much about what God had said. He still felt angry with his brother Abel. In fact, he hated him. Every time he looked at Abel, he just wanted to yell and scream. One day, when they were alone in the field, he couldn't hold back his anger any more. "Hey, Abel," he shouted, "let's go for a walk in the fields." "Sure," said Abel, thinking nothing of it. They walked side by side for a while, but soon Cain started to feel angry again. He hated the way Abel walked. He hated the way he breathed. He hated everything about him. And before he knew it, he wanted to hurt him. He suddenly stopped walking and stared at his brother. "What's wrong?" asked Abel, noticing that Cain had stopped. "Nothing," replied Cain, trying to sound casual. "I just need to get something out of my pocket." With that, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a sharp rock. Without warning, he threw it at Abel, hitting him right in the head. Abel fell to the ground with a thud, blood trickling down his forehead. When he realized what had happened, Cain panicked. "Oh my God," he thought, "what have I done?" Of course, God had forbidden murder. Cain had just committed the world's first murder. Filled with fear and guilt, he ran away from the scene, hiding in the nearby bushes. But no matter where he went, he couldn't escape from himself. Everywhere he went, he saw the face of God. Everywhere he heard the cries of Abel. Everywhere he turned, he saw the blood of his brother on the ground. He couldn't stand it anymore, so he decided to run away from home and start a new life somewhere else. After walking for many days, he came across a beautiful valley surrounded by tall mountains. It looked like the perfect place to settle down. But before he could take a single step into the valley, he heard a voice. "Hey, who's there?" He looked around but couldn't see anyone. "Who's there?" the voice asked again. "It's me," said Cain, a little scared. "I'm just passing through. I won't hurt anyone." "Oh, okay," said the voice. "Welcome to the valley. My name is Lamech. Would you like to settle here and become my friend?" "Yes, thank you," replied Cain, feeling relieved. Lamech led Cain to his house and introduced him to his 2 wives, named Ada and Zillah. They welcomed Cain warmly and invited him to have dinner with them. After dinner, Cain told them about how he had left his home because he had committed a terrible sin. He had killed his own brother. Lamech listened to Cain's story and felt sorry for him. "You know, Cain, I have 2 sons who are always fighting with each other. Sometimes I wish one of them would leave and never come back. Well, since you're looking for a new home, why don't you stay here and live with us?" "Thank you, Lamech," replied Cain. "That would be wonderful." And so Cain settled down in the valley and became friends with Lamech and his wives. Over time, Cain and Lamech became such good friends that they even began to build houses next to each other. They also started to work together in the fields. One day when they were working in the fields, Lamech said to Cain, "You know, I can't help but notice that you don't seem to be very happy lately. Is everything okay?" "Oh, it's nothing," said Cain. "I'm just a little tired, that's all." "Come on, don't lie to me," said Lamech. "If something's bothering you, just tell me, and I'll help you." Cain hesitated for a moment, but then he decided to open up to his friend. He told Lamech everything that had happened, how he had killed his brother Abel, and how he had run away from home. Lamech listened patiently to Cain's story, and when Cain was finished, he said, "I'm sorry, Cain, I had no idea. But look, the past is in the past now. There's no point in dwelling on it. The best thing you can do now is to focus on the future and try to make something good out of your life." "Thanks, Lamech," said Cain. "You're a true friend." From that day on, Cain and Lamech became even closer friends. They supported each other through thick and thin, and they helped each other through tough times. Now, the Bible tells us that Cain lived a long life and had many children and grandchildren. Some of his descendants went on to become some of the first great leaders and heroes of the human race. As for Cain, he learned that no matter what happens in life, it's important to forgive yourself and move on. And he also learned that true friendship can make all the difference in the world. The end. Now let's think about the story. What do you think about Cain's offering to God? Do you think God was unfair to him? Why do you think God chose Abel's offering over Cain's? Why do you think Cain killed his brother? How do you think Cain felt after he killed his brother? How do you think God felt when he saw what Cain had done? Do you think Cain deserved God's punishment? Why or why not? How do you think Cain's life would have been different if he hadn't killed his brother? Share your answers with us in the comments section below. We would love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing content. And if you want to watch another short, you can click here.